right, girls. We're going to try to move that playhouse from back there all the way up near the woodpile. That is going to be a hard job. It's going to be very exciting.
So what is it we're trying to do?
We're trying to move the playhouse.
I think we should walk through it, actually.
We've got this marked as a construction zone to keep the local children, including our own grandchildren, out of here, because this playhouse that you see here has been jacked up. I've jacked it up. The goal being to move that playhouse by rolling it on this PVC pipe that you see underneath, rolling it out here to this spot out here, then turning a right angle this way, rolling up here, past these trees, which I've cut back the branches so it will pass, past the sundial that we've moved out of the way, here past the spot where the bathtub with Janet's flowers stood. We've gotten those out. I hope I haven't killed the perennials by putting them over here in the wagon. Move the bathtub back there. Then up through here, which is the toughest place, I think, because the yard is sloped and we have all of this, what do you call this plant? This plant growing up here. We're going to crush some of that along the edges. That plant 8 feet wide. But if we get by there, we bring it over to here, and we do another right angle turn, this time to the left, this way, and bring the playhouse up here, where we will have removed these foundation stones because we can't roll up onto them. We'll roll onto the flat ground here, then jack it up higher once again so that we can slip these foundation stones under it. And although they don't look like it's, they're level, I believe that when it is raised up on these foundation stones, it will be very close to level. You might ask what this stump is doing here. Well, we were a little worried about this highest corner and its stability over the coming months and years when children jump up and down in the playhouse. Will they knock it off of here? We could, I guess, cement these into place, but that gets tricky because we've got to move them when we move the playhouse in. So our son Robert suggested using this stump, which this had been sitting over here, having been cut off of these trees that hold up the wood pile. I dug a little hole for it today, so it's at approximately the same height, and that should provide a margin of safety to support this corner of the playhouse. So that's the project, the goal. I don't know whether it will be achieved because lots of things can go wrong. Those PVC pipes, we'll walk back down to the playhouse, those PVC pipes, I guess could possibly be crushed when the weight of that very heavy playhouse, which we estimate weighs between 1,000 and 2,000 pounds, when it comes down on those pipes. We don't think they'll crush them because we tested one of the pipes by lowering a corner of the playhouse onto it, and although it was slightly deformed, it did not break, it was not crushed. But it was a little deformed. Now, if all of them are deformed, I don't know how well it will roll on oval pipes. But we have 15 pipes. Hi, Joe. 15, another one of our workmen has just arrived, Joe Beyer. There are 15 pipes under each side here. And I hope that will be enough, that will spread the weight sufficiently that they will not collapse. Under the pipes you see I've put plywood, and we're going to keep moving the plywood ahead and moving the pipes ahead as we move the playhouse. All very complex. Hope no one gets their fingers pinched or smashed.
So if you were to make a chart of what could go right and what could go wrong, where would there be more?
Which way would the
Which list would be
which way would
longer?
would it tilt? Well, I think there are probably more things that can go wrong. The plywood, it's half-inch plywood. I'm concerned about it splintering. Who knows if we get stuck there. I don't know how hard it's going to be to move this whole thing, but we've got probably 6 people coming to push. And even before we get started, right now, it's precariously up on 2 jacks on this side, 2 posts on the other side. We now have a 3rd jack. We'll get 1 more jack. We'll raise it up, remove the posts over there, and then lower the whole thing down onto those pipes. Whether it will all work, I don't know, but it sure is going to be exciting. I've marked on the front of the playhouse here where the by the 4x4s, well, let me back up. In the construction of this playhouse, the playhouse has as its foundation, as holding up the whole playhouse, 2 4x4s in this direction. But we realize they will not roll on this direction. So under those 4x4s, I have put 2 more 4x4s in this direction that we hope will roll on the pipes. Now, to keep the playhouse from sliding off of these 4x4s in this direction, I put in some screws down here. Maybe you can see them there. There's some screws about 1 inch in front of this 4x4 and another set of screws 1 inch behind it, so that when we lower it, we have to lower it onto that 4x4 so that this 4x4 falls between those screws on the bottom 4x4. So that way they won't slide apart as we push, I hope. That's another thing could go wrong, I suppose. And then there are all the things I'm not thinking about that could go wrong that I don't know about yet. We had originally, you may recall, gotten these planks that we were going to roll it on. Rather than plywood, we're going to put down 2x8 planks. Several problems. One was, how do you make sure that it stays on the planks? Requires careful alignment. But the bigger problem was the turns out here. How do we turn from facing this way to facing that way when we're rolling on those planks? We hope that with the plywood we'll be able to negotiate that twist and that turn, so it's going up there, and then we turn on the far end to get to the new foundation. I was told that planks would be better than plywood by a builder who has moved buildings. That planks would be better because there'd be less friction. At that time I had pipes that went all the way across. Well, we thought we could reduce the friction by cutting the 8-foot long pipes into 2-foot long sections, and that's what we've done, so that we won't get as much friction as we would if the plank were all the way across the plywood. But all these things are just theory. We don't know yet whether it will roll. We've got to find out. So now we've just gotten the 3rd jack. I'll go over here and see about jacking up a 3rd corner.
They say 2,000 pounds, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. 500 each, that's not a problem.
Yeah. Well, see how easily it rolls. Okay.
Hey.
Okay. Stop.
You want to quit now?
Stop. Stop.
Stop. What's wrong? Nothing.
Stop. Okay.
What is it?
It does roll.
Now, is that one lined up, rubber?
It's not in the screws, no. It's
Gotta go-
gotta go back like for
This
Two
first
pipes?
pipe is
Two
almost
pipes?
What?
6 inches back.
I'm going to push it back so that you can turn it against it.
But you can't. You'll hit the screws. If we slide it back, it'll hit the screws.
Now we get the pipe up. That.
And unless you took the screws out. Well, ideally, it's not going to move at all.
This size.
There's 2,000 pounds of scratches.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that
That's encouraging though, that it's so easy
push
to
it this
pivot.
way.
It
Oh,
is.
that, no, let me go backwards.
It is?
It is, but it shouldn't.
So there's nothing
It
to do
shouldn't
now
come off
but
that.
come forward.
How about putting new screws in?
You know,
Some new
see
ones.
how far we can get.
Why
Yeah, they're
don't we
gonna
just
come
start moving and
in. Yeah, it's gonna get undone anyway, so let's just see what happens.
You got two options, run it like now or run the jack in the middle and try and
Is it-
adjust this last board and put the weight on that one.
I feel like we're coming too this way.
Well, that's the, we can put the jack in the middle and see how to adjust this board.
You want to try running it like we got it?
Let's see what happens if we just start.
But you got bigger trouble if you come off that board.
Yeah. Why don't we put it in the middle there and just see if we
I
can-
like Dave's idea. Moving, jacking this side up, moving the board forward.
Yes. And try to get the board in the right position.
Anywhere?
The problem is it may tip over off this side.
I mean, this is as good as...
4x4 might want to get the whole there.
I wouldn't even stand in front of the board. The board's anything, slide right out of there.
The weight shift. Okay.
I'll move that board up.
Number one goal tonight is
Okay, here it
nobody get
comes, it's
hurt.
coming up.
Someone should
Coming up.
just hold it, keep
What?
it low, keep
Hey,
it
hey,
low.
hey, Dave. Dave, really,
Okay, Rob, what's this board doing back there? Can you...
We need one.
which way you want to go? Forward?
Yeah, higher.
Can you push your end down just a little, Harry? Push it down a little.
Yeah, higher.
Good. Okay, there you go.
Let it down.
Oh wait, hold it. Okay.
Let it down.
Coming down.
I'm done.
Get down there, sit there.
It's off the jack.
Off the jack.
What's it sitting on? Certainly not sitting on that first piece there.
Okay. The others are holding it up.
I think the biggest fear is it rolling off the cylinders. I think someone should be trying to keep it. Make sure it doesn't roll off if it get rolled. Wait, I'm gonna start the camera.
You missed the exciting part. You girls are staying back there, right? You don't come up here. The best thing is to see how easily you can roll.
That was encouraging. It was encouraging how easily it pivoted. Where are we trying to go?
We're gonna go down here, out to that flat spot. Then we're gonna pivot 90 degrees
I follow that.
and go up along this fence, all the way up to
That's the
almost the wood pile. Then we pivot again that way and go that way about 10 feet.
Oh. That looks uphill too.
Oh, Dave, you know Denny,
Yeah,
Dave.
we've met over the years. Nice to
Oh
see
yeah,
you.
that's right. You, I think, helped move his
My
shed
shed.
once. Remember we rolled
At
it?
the top of the hill,
Yeah.
we rolled it over. I don't think this one would roll.
So what are we waiting for?
Camera.
Camera. Oh,
He's starting it up there.